Thank you, Lamide. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you and good morning. You won't believe it, but I never set out to be a banker. Spent 30 years doing banking. I'm now doing what I really want to do. I'm very pleased to be here. I'm particularly pleased because of the subject itself, continuous improvement. And I'd like to share some theoretical perspectives with you as well as practical experiences. To start with, what are we improving? I mean, let's start from the beginning. What is it that we're improving? The society we live in sort of suggests that you're not a doctor, not an engineer, not an architect, and so on, a lawyer, and so on and so forth, you will not succeed in life, right? Only recently we've seen those in the movie industry become phenomenally successful. 10 years ago, they wouldn't be. So people who have a natural flair to act are persuaded to read chemistry, physics, biology, because that is what traditionally the society wants. So I think we start off by first of all searching ourselves to say, are we really doing what we like to do? You know, when I took my school cert, the whole idea was I was going to be a geologist. I was going to do geology. I ended up doing banking. So my first degree, I went into it because I was determined to get a degree. And then after I got that degree, I thought to myself, what is it that I'm getting here? Let me go back into the oil and gas industry because that is really what I want to do. So I did my second degree and chose petroleum economics. So went to the Department of Economics and said to the director there that I wanted to do petroleum economics. So have you spoken to the lecturer in charge of petroleum economics? And I said, no, I didn't. So I went and talked to him. I walked up to this man's office and he said to me, what do you know about petroleum economics? I said, nothing. He said, okay, go and get me 150 references, then we can talk. So I did my coursework and did research at the same time when all my other colleagues were doing only coursework. By the time I accumulated 150 references and went back to him, he had gone on sabbatical to Vienna. So I was left stranded. Without any supervisor, all my other colleagues had chosen their own supervisor. So the only person I could choose was someone who was a specialist in banking and finance, Professor Teriba. That was how I started my banking career. Today I've set up my own business, fast forward, in the oil and gas industry. Guess what? My children say to me, you really, really like what you're doing. You're really happy. We see your face glow when you talk about your business. Having said that, I haven't made a dime since I started. But guess what? I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun. And that's all that is important to me. Okay, let me build from that into the rest of what I'd like to share with you today. Many times, at one time or the other in your lives, someone has said to you, you have this potential or that potential, right? Someone has said to you, you have this talent or that talent, right? It counts for nothing if you do not develop your potential, if you do not develop your talent. That you have the potential and squander it doesn't make you great. What makes you great is being able to harness and maximize the full value of your potential. So if the structural adjustment program, which was introduced in 1986, I don't know if any of you guys know about this, but we older people, you know, we were around at the time when the Naira was 63 kobo to $1. And all of a sudden, things went very bad. The foreign exchange of the country declined very, very sharply. Interest rates went up. All kinds of things happened to the economy. The IMF came in and introduced what they call the Structural Adjustment Program. And the Structural Adjustment Program is actually to restructure the economy into a market-driven economy. So no subsidies, no handouts, no gifts, everything has to be market determined. It was at that time people stopped employing. Most companies weren't employing anymore. At the time, if you came out of school and couldn't find a job in a multinational, you were a failure. So if you came out of school and said you wanted to do business, people felt sorry for you because you couldn't find a job. That's why you're doing business. But guess what? Things turned around. A lot of people went into the market. They couldn't find jobs. They set up their businesses. Today, those businesses are the multi-million-dollar and multi-million-dollar businesses around Nigeria today. The big businesses, if I the Aliko Dangote's business, where do you think he started from? And so many of such businesses. It is the desire to say, this is what I want to do, this is what I feel like doing, this is what I think I can do, and then you go for it, and then do everything to make it work. Similar to that, there's something called passion. Do you guys remember a gentleman called Bill Gates? And there's another one who is now late, but we understand that he created the Apple of today. Steve. These guys used to, while everybody was sleeping, these guys were in their garages working. They worked day and night. We call it work, they were having fun. They said they were having fun, they were enjoying themselves. So even if they slept for 2 hours in a day, it didn't matter. They were doing what they actually enjoyed doing. If you're doing something you do not enjoy doing, that is a drag. You find it very difficult to wake up in the morning to go to that thing, you're doing the wrong thing. If you wake up in the morning and you dash into your shower, have a bath, and rush off to that thing, and you do it, and you come out late, every day you're having fun. You're doing the right thing. It's a gauge. If it is so difficult for you to go to work in the morning or get up to doing that particular thing, it's not the right thing you're doing. You're doing it because you want money. That is why someone who went to school, read chemistry, will come to a bank and says they want to work in a bank. My question is, why did you read chemistry? There's nothing about chemistry in a bank. Such a person will find it difficult to wake up in the morning and go to that place of work. But some other person who read arts, mass communication, and has to go and act a play somewhere, will devote all of their lives and all of their insight into making sure that that show comes out, and they have this thing written about them, and everybody's so proud about them, and you think, where did this person come from? The person chose what they were passionate about, and they did it, and they did it very well. Who knows Chimamanda? Have you heard of that name? Okay, half of a yellow sun, the purple hibiscus, Americana, right? I know that Chimamanda might have done medicine or some other subject like that. But I guess when she was writing, I said, what kind of thing is this? Where will this get you to? Writing what? So this is what you want to do for your life. Today, she's an international star of repute and to be reckoned with. The other thing that I'd like to share with you is what a lot of people, especially the young ones of these days, don't have. Think long term. Whatever you do, think long term. Perseverance is what gets you from a mediocre performer to a top performer. For those who are familiar with football, Lionel Messi, right? Who are the other stars that you can think of now? Ronaldo and Bale, and so on and so forth. What do you think makes these people such stars? For those who understand the game of golf or who play golf, I'll explain to you. When Tiger Woods was at the peak of his career, he would hit every day no less than 1,000 balls. The same with Phil Mickelson, for those of you who know golf. He would hit no less than 1,000 balls every day. And what happens is, if you keep on practicing, if you keep on doing that thing that you like to do, over and over again, you become better and better at it. So when there's a football match going on, and it's free kick, and they call someone to take the free kick, you know why? That person, during practice, has always been the best at taking free kicks. So they have all the hope and confidence that since he has practiced several times and he has succeeded, he will be in a position to score that goal from that free kick or enable someone else to score the goal. It is very important that we do not feel that, oh, I know it, I have the skills, I have the talent, I have the potential, so it will come naturally to me. It's not true, it won't. If you do not put in the hard work, it will not come. Whether you are a lawyer, whether you're a carpenter, you're an artist, whatever it is you do in life, if you do not put in that time to continuously try to make yourself better at everything you do, you will not be better. Everyone has the potential within us to be what? A lawyer, to be an artist, to be a comedian, and so on. But those who take that, work on it, hone it, and own it are the ones who are likely to succeed in the long run. When Tiger Woods started playing, he was notorious for his very long shots. So he will hit the ball farthest in any competition. But it didn't mean that he won the competition. Because it was with him they designed the term, drive for show and putt for dough. Because he would drive, first shot, he gets to the green. Then the other people would do 2 shots to get to the green. But Tiger Woods will play 3 before he enters the hole. The other ones will just hit it once and enter the hole. So Tiger went off the circuit and kept practicing how to improve his shot game. And his routine was very simple. And all he did was, I'm going to measure a distance of 1 foot, 3 feet, and 6 feet from the hole. And I'll continue to putt 100 balls into that hole. If I miss one, I'll start all over again. So if it was on the 99th ball, he missed, he starts all over again from 1. Can you imagine the pressure that would put on your back, having to bend all the time like this and putt 100 balls into the hole? Or the footballers who set the ball and keep striking into various areas of the goalpost. Or people like Bill Gates, who sat down and continuously improved upon what they already knew, what they had the God-given talent to do. You know, a lot of times we think that this was not meant for us. Maybe it is so, but what are you doing to find something else, the alternative? So, as much as I used to go to work in the morning very early and come back 10, 11 o'clock, I wasn't enjoying myself. But the money was good, so I had to stick in there because I got bills to pay. But did I really enjoy what I was doing? Maybe not. And I'll tell you that today for free. But every time I had an opportunity to do anything outside of my banking, I found out the only thing that appealed to me was, how do you get... I also do fishing. I fish. I do offshore fishing. So what the sea looks like, what kind of things you find in there, these are the things that appeal to me. When you dig the ground, what do you get out of it? Where do you get minerals from? This gold that we are having here, why can't we, do a bit more about gold, get something that will process the gold? So you see me watching National Geographic, the Yukon Gold channels, and that's all I'm interested in. The only way I could establish myself firmly and do something, no matter how late it is in one's life, do something I really, really had a passion for, was to go and set up my business in oil and gas. And there is no relationship, there is no correlation whatsoever between what I did almost 30 years of my life and what I'm doing today. And let me explain that. I haven't gone to anybody to ask for money. Okay? So no one will say, okay, because he was in banking, he used his connection in banking to get financing for his business. No, I haven't. Rather, people have come to me to say they would like to invest in my business. They would like to work with me in my business. Why? Because I think over time, even in the business that I didn't particularly like, I must have established a certain track record that people thought they could trust me. In terms of the people I have known who have helped me, nobody in banking and finance has helped me. The people who have helped me in my new business in the last 1 year have been people I had never known before January 2014. They consider me to be one of their own. One of them. They are one. You say, this is our guy. We know this guy. This is our guy. Because we speak the same language and we are interested in the same thing. You can succeed at anything you do. You can excel at anything you do. 3 things you have to take into account. The first one is, are you doing what you really enjoy and what you have the potential for and what you have the skills and talents for? 2, are you passionate about what you're doing? And 3, are you persevering enough? Because in life, no short-term benefits. The benefits are usually longer-term in nature. You know what they say? No pain, no gain. It is true. If you do not work for it, you will not get it. Think long-term, persevere, and you will succeed. But always note at every point, if you're putting in 2 hours, the next person to you is putting in 4 hours. If you're putting in 4 hours, the next person doing the same thing is going to put in 8 hours. So always strive to put in as much time as possible in improving improving yourself. Because it's only when you do that that you'll be on top of your game. Thank you very much. I hope this has been useful, and you will see it as an opportunity that has been created for you to take a different look at your life and see where you have to make the changes. Because those changes are better made when you're in your 20s than when you're in your 50s, like some of us. Thank you.
You can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. We have 5 minutes, right? So we want to ask him a question. It doesn't matter whether it's a question you wanted to ask Mrs. Akimube or a question you wanted to ask Ambassador Marcus Bello. Is there any question? Anybody with any question? Okay, please move forward, because me, I'm wearing stiletto, so I can't go as quickly to, we're keeping it real. Okay, you have a question. Okay, so is there one more person? Okay, come, let's have a queue here, and just the 3 people, very quickly. So you'll all ask your questions, and then he'll answer.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elijah Simon. My question is going to the first speaker. What security measures has the government set in place to safeguard the IT industries in Nigeria? That's the question. Thank you.
Good morning. My question goes to Mr. Ambah. You said we should do something we're proud of or passionate about. And you made yourself an example, like you started your business and you were not making a dime. Now, speaking from a banker's point of view, how economically feasible is it for someone, or let's say people like us, who don't even have money at all, starting a business, and for the first 2-3 years, we are making losses? How do you pay your bills, and how do you keep on being happy in such an environment? Thank you.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone. I am Shola Kindele, and my question goes to Mr. Ambah. He said we should endeavor to do what we like doing, and some people might be like we who are doing something just for the pay. It's really not what you love doing. But I want to ask, how daring can you be to want to change the job, especially to what you love doing, especially when you consider the fact that to get another one might take you a period of 4 months, 5 months, or more. So how daring do you just storm out of your employment in search of a better world, looking for opportunities like Mrs. Akimube said earlier on? Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, sir. My question to you has been asked, but I will expatiate more on that. I would like to know, sir, people state that they are changed from one career to another, and changing career to me doesn't look that easy the way it sounds. So I want you to tell us more about how it was, you changing from being a banker to your field which you enjoy most, sir. The challenges and the road to it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So let me confirm, there are 4 questions? Yes? Okay. The first to do with the policies the federal government have in place to safeguard the IT industry. Safeguard the IT industry from what?
Who asked? From what?
From what? Who asked the question?
From hackers.
From hackers.
Yes.
Okay. That's a very broad subject, actually. I mean, because if we knew what to do to prevent the IT industry from hackers, we would lend that technology to the United States of America, which will stop the South Koreans or North Koreans from invading their space. I think it's a challenge. The people are always one step ahead, and we just it's not being done at the government level, I don't think, and I think it's being done at the corporation level. So various institutions have different mechanisms of protecting themselves from those sort of challenges. At the national level, I'm not quite sure that there is any policy on it. I don't know how you can put a policy in place for that. But I think the individual companies sort of protect themselves from cyber attacks. For the second question, how do you keep yourself alive when you're making losses for the first 3 years? Is it that easy to just walk away and set up a business whilst you're not, once you don't have any money? Look, I'm not proposing that you guys resign from your jobs and go and look for. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's what you should do. I think it's a process. First of all, you have to determine what you really want to do, what you really would like to do, what you have the passion for. And that's why I like the Americans. You will find someone doing something so obscure, but yet phenomenally successful at it. Whatever they choose to do, once you are at the top of your game, you will succeed. Whether it is dancing, whether it is painting, whatever it is you want to do, if you do it and you are at the top of your game, you will succeed. But it is that belief that you will succeed, the passion that comes with that vision, that will make people also believe in you to want to support you. So if you think that you're in insurance, for instance, and what you really want to do is to sell, rice at the port, because that is what you think. It's not for the money, but you see your grandfather, your great-grandfather, and everybody sold rice. So rice selling is in your family, is in the blood. And that is really what you want to do. People will back you up. Why? Because you have the experience. You've done it over generations, so you're likely to succeed. But if you just wake up and say you want to leave insurance because it's not paying well, you want to go into banking because there's more money there, then first of all, you need $25 billion Naira capital to set it up, no? Or maybe as an employee, then we shouldn't be having this discussion. But really, if it is a question of you setting up a business, which is very important, at one point or the other, we all have to set up that business. I have an office in EcoBank, and I had a problem with electricity. So I went down to the general manager, who said to me, he would solve the problem. What flat is that? So I gave him the flat number. And he said, you're using it as an office? I said, yes. He said, no, we don't allow offices here. And I said to him, you know how many people I have employed in that place? Who is going to find employment for the teeming people coming out of universities today if all of us individually do not set up something to employ 5, 10, 20, 30 people each? That's the only way you're going to absorb the labor force in the market, by doing it yourself. Not everybody rushing to go and queue behind, I apply and I beg to apply. Okay? So do something that you're passionate about. Think of something that you're really passionate about. Convince people of your ideas, they'll support you. The third question is, it's related to the second one. Don't storm out of your job, right? Don't say because this man, Offong, said, we should do something that we are passionate about. Let's just go and look for that thing. It's a process. And you have to prepare adequately for it. You have to go through that process. When I left banking in 2010, I didn't think I was going to be on my own. I didn't think I could set up anything on my own. I went through a process. So I moved to another institution, another industry, which was the insurance industry. And it was there I thought, wait a minute, what am I doing here? So first of all, I transitioned from being an employee to beginning to think like an employer, wanting to be on my own. Then the next major thing was, when you go on your own, what do you do? And it just came together very nicely in a tight package. Changing careers, change careers if you're in the wrong job. I'll say that, I mean, without even blinking. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, and this is how you don't enjoy what you're doing, you find it difficult to get up in the morning to go to work, you have a problem. You sit at that job, you're confused most of the time, you're not putting in as much energy, you're not improving yourself, you're not developing yourself, you're in the wrong job. So you move to something that you're more passionate about and what you're happy to go to. When you wake up in the morning, you dash into the shower and you rush off to work, then you're in the right job. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.